and they say you are a bodybuilder. What's the difference between a bodybuilder pose as against a body fitness pose? Is there a difference?
Yes, definitely there is a difference. They would stick with the word bodybuilder because that's how it originated. You know, men were really the first doing bodybuilding. Then they introduced females into it. That's another long story. But there are other categories. So you have a women's bikini fitness. That's the most attainable category. You have wellness fitness. You have body fitness, which is my category, and you have women's physique. Then you also have women's bodybuilding, which they brought back into the play a couple years ago.
What's different between your category, body fitness, and the earlier categories you described?
Bikini fitness is the most attainable category.
When you say attainable, what do you mean?
It's easy to get there.
Oh, fine.
So
fine.
If you're already probably small framed type of female, probably a bit petite, that'll be an easy category for you to get into, so you don't have much to do to get to the look for that category.
But you're a small frame?
Not as compared to that category.
No, I'm saying that only because I'm off the air. You mentioned that you started off at 110 pounds.
Yes.
So at that stage, you could have chosen to go that way. That's what I mean.
Well, now that you mention it, I did start there actually.
Okay.
So yes, I was 110 pounds when I started training, 9% body fat. I further found out a couple of years later, so I started to compete in 2013. I found out in 2014 that I had overactive thyroid. So I did a live blood analysis and I found out I had overactive thyroid, which is what was preventing me from putting on weight.
Oh.
So when that got regularized, the weight started to come on along with weightlifting, which is most important.
So initially you wanted to go that way?
Yeah.
And then this happened and you couldn't keep maintaining the weight. Is that the reason why you're not in that first category or not?
No, well, I did that category for quite a number of years, for about 6 or 7 years actually.
How was it?
It was good, you know. I won my shows here, junior, national, senior, all the other shows that they had. I competed regionally, you know. I placed in the top 10, in the top 4 out there as well. And I started to find like maybe I wanted a bit more. Somewhere along the way, when I was practicing my bikini fitness poses, I was also practicing the body fitness poses as well. At the time, you would hear they interchange between body fitness and figure. It's both the same category. So I told myself, you know, maybe we'll try for this body fitness. Now, I did not jump to body fitness initially because based on looking at photos of it, I realized it required a lot more than I was able to give at the time. I also told myself, let me see if it is by doing bikini fitness, if I really like this thing, that therefore somewhere in the future I will graduate to another category.
So if to the public, to maybe young ladies watching this program right now, and they're trying to differentiate between body fitness on one hand and body swimsuit, how could you easily describe the differentiation? Is there an easy differentiation?
For one is bigger than the next, which is body fitness. Body fitness, which is my category, is bigger than...
Bigger meaning?
In size,
okay.
You could see definitely my category has a lot more muscle definition.
Is there
like
a set size that makes it bigger? In other words, you know, like in boxing, they say, if you're over this weight, you're in this category. Is it like that, or how does it work?
No, for us, we don't go by weight.
Okay.
They go by aesthetics. So you have a look there. Okay, so bikini fitness, yes, we want to see a little separation in the cap of the shoulder to the bicep, but they don't want to see it, this big prominent shoulder, that sort of thing. Just a little cut, so we could see that you actually work out then.
Right, understand, okay.
The legs, same thing. So one of the things they mainly look at in bikini is your stomach, that flat stomach, glutes, which is your bumsy, rounded, no cellulite, it firm, that sort of thing.
That take a lot of work.
Yes, it does.
Can imagine.
So a lot of people look at these categories, even for bikini, and say, oh, good, I want my abs to look like that, I want my bumsy to look like that, but thinking that because she's small, that it's easy to get to.
So tell any woman out there, if they want their bumsy to look like that, they have to do a lot of work.
Yes.
Like what works so?
Nothing comes easy. First to begin, you need to have a proper diet.
Probably that means
Or
what?
let me say, not just diet, but nutrition, right?
So, explain that, because there are a lot of, anyway, let's explain that, because different people have different ideas about nutrition. So
right, so you diet according to your goals. This is why I tell people they need to study what their goal is and not study what someone else's goal is, because you might see someone big, you might see they eating a Snickers, your coach or whoever else might tell you that you're not supposed to eat that, but that person might be a power lifter. They might be using that Snickers as a pre-workout. You might be doing bodybuilding, you might be cutting for a show. Two different things there.
If you're cutting for a show, you can't eat nothing sweet?
Well, not nothing sweet, but you need to cut back on your calories, especially that, because a Snickers is chocolate, it have a lot of caramel.
So you don't eat no chocolate at all?
No, I wouldn't say no, I do.
Oh, that's checking.
But you need to know, again, you need to know your body type. All these different things that come into play, and the understanding of it over years of experience. You get to learn your body, you get to realize what it is your body responds to, how fast, how slow, what it responds to best. Certain exercises you may find you're not feeling anything at all, no matter how much you try. You have to like really go extra heavy or exceed a lot of repetitions in order to start feeling it. That may just be because either you range of motion, or maybe because you have longer limbs for that particular exercise. Maybe you are a lot more flexible. If you are very flexible and I tell you to touch your toes, to stretch your hamstrings or your lower back or something, you might do that with ease and say you're not feeling anything. But then if I put you on something elevated, so it takes you higher off the ground, and I tell you now to stretch beyond your toes to the ground, now you would start to feel it. So there's a difference. Just like if someone has, a lot of fat around their stomach and they try to touch their toes.
What is the easiest way for this is a tough question, but anyway, it is. What is the easiest way for someone who has a lot of fat around their stomach? A woman, we're dealing with women here. So everybody inside here is safe so far, right? What's the easiest way for a woman who has a lot of excess stomach weight to lose that?
Okay, not taking into consideration that could possibly be because of a C-section or
yes, yeah. I'm assuming it's somebody who's not had a child.
Okay. If particularly they have a lot of excess weight around their stomach, then it's not just around their waistline. They generally have a lot of fat as well. Because if it is you are small like me and you have a lot of weight there, then you probably have maybe a digestive issue, kidney or something like that. But if that's not the case, then that person is generally overweight. They're not just going to have the fat around the stomach, but arms and everything.
A lot of people go and get advice and take injections and do different things, tablets, weight loss tablets, whatever. I'm sure you know that, obviously. And it doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't, because it's a quick fix and it's not something that can easily be maintained. But if it is, I take you through a journey, firstly teaching you to understand why we are doing what we are doing, gets you to understand the benefits of nutrition and implementing certain things into your diet, then you would realize that, okay, it's not just about me looking good or getting to fit into a particular outfit for a particular event or so, but this really is a lifestyle for the better. Now, people quick to complain that healthy food is expensive, but expensive as compared to what? Because if the doctor tell you today that you need surgery or you could possibly die, you're going to find that money without excuse. Because why? It's life and death. And it's the same thing with being healthy. Right? If it says you make these small changes, okay, you decide you're cutting out flour and you substitute it with oats instead, and so you keep going. Because just now, because doctors do not tell you most of the times what to substitute it with. They just tell you to take it out. And people cannot deal with that. If they don't mind actually, but if it is you're telling me to remove this from my diet completely, then what do I substitute it with?
As we go to the first break, it's a generally broad question, and I may be too broad, but I'm still going to ask it. What's the best advice you could give someone in terms of nutrition, man or woman, as the case may be, in terms of nutrition? So it doesn't really matter their size, but in terms of healthy nutrition, what would you advise?
I would say firstly start small.
Okay.
Right? If it is you're not someone who accustomed taking anything at all, remember that your body depletes, cells die daily, and in order to replenish them, you need to keep giving it nutrition. So you need to put in something starting with probably a multivitamin. If it is you're not one to have fruits, you could try that, even greens and that sort of thing.
All right. On that green note, take a short break. We'll be back. We've got with us Abeni Procope. Abeni Procope, she is, as you heard, International Bodybuilding Federation, basically. International Bodybuilding Federation. So, and she is an elite pro. Just for those of you who may not know, and a little bit later on we'll find out more from her, not only about the upcoming events, but she's also into training as well. So those of you out there, male or female, doesn't matter, male or female, you can be trained and you can look a lot. I can recommend some people to you, but when we come back, let's take a short break. I don't want to put them in trouble early. We'll be back.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today. Let the home store turn your house into a home you love. Get everything you need to give your home that special look and feel. We offer household items, lawn and garden, paint center, hardware, plumbing, lighting and electrical, toys and storage solutions. 5 convenient locations: 6th Avenue Barataria, The Falls at Westmore, Pennywise Plaza Shoguanas, C3 Center Branch and C3 San Fernando. Check out our Facebook page for more information and come visit us today. The Home Store. Turn your house into a home you love.
If these walls could talk, they'd cry uncle. They didn't plan to become offices or yoga studios. But they've stood by us, even when we got a little stir-crazy. For that, they deserve some thanks. They deserve Benjamin Moore.
From Maracas Bay to Arafita Avenue and Piaco, Richard's Bake and Shag brings the world's most popular fish sandwich closer to you. Open daily at all our locations.
You gave us the inspiration to be first. We gave you the solutions that put you first. You walked with us side by side, and we continued to serve you with pride. First Citizen celebrates with you 30 years of achieving dreams, shaping success stories, and painting brighter futures together. And together, we'll accomplish so much more. First Citizens, together, 30 and beyond.
Welcome back, welcome back. As we promised you, we continue talking with Abeni Procope. She is, as we have said before, IFBB pro athlete, right? International Federation of Bodybuilding. That's the best way to say it, certainly. Now, when we left, we were talking, obviously, about training. Tell us more about yourself. So how long have you been doing this? And since you have been involved in terms of the body fitness, tell us about some of your performances. And we have some highlights we can show and some photos while we talk to you. Go ahead.
So I've been competing since 2013. I've been a personal trainer since about 2010. I was doing nutrition more so before the training aspect, because for me, it's easier to train. People think that's the hard part, but that's actually the easy part. The hard part is actually the eating, because a lot of times people train, and when they finish training and you ask them what they eat, they say cornflakes or they didn't eat anything at all, and you have to replenish yourself because remember you just exerted so much energy, you sweat.
So what do you normally eat when you finish training?
So immediately after I train, so I'm right there in the gym still, I'd probably have my protein shake until I get home, because I need to remember that there's a distance between the gym and me reaching home. Maybe I have a couple stops to make or so. So within that time, remember you're hungry, yeah? So when I get home now, I would have something to eat, and depending on like how right now I'm getting ready for competition, it depends on what I'll eat. If I'm long out, I'll go ahead and have some carbs, some chicken breasts. I don't really do too much fish, or I will just have a salad.
Why not fish?
I became allergic to fish in 2010. I started back eating in 2019, but my body still isn't too receptive where the fish is
They
concerned.
always recommend only the chicken breast, mainly, or mainly only the chicken breast?
No, you can have, if it is you are fine with any sort of protein, you can have eggs, you can have chicken breast, you can have, again, it also depends on where you're at in your training. If it is you're in a bulking phase, I would say you can go ahead with your thigh because thigh has more fat than the chicken breast. The breast is leaner. So I would generally say chicken breast.
And in terms of, when you say chicken breast, is it that, I mean, obviously it has to be grilled in a certain way, or just how or eat any chicken breast, fried chicken breast, or how does it work?
I would prefer to stay away from the fry. I'm not saying you can't have it. Again, everything in moderation, and it also depends on what your goal is. If it is you're getting ready for competition, if it is you're long out, you're bulking, you're close to the competition, all that will determine exactly how you're prepping your meals. You definitely wouldn't be having too much of the fry anyhow because all that is grease and fat, and even if you're putting on weight, you don't want to be putting on fat.
Are you ever tempted for that?
Definitely. I'm human. I have taste buds, and especially when the dieting part of cutting, and when I say cutting, I'm now starting to shred the excess fat in preparation for competition. So like right now, I'm just a couple weeks out.
So if you pass out and you get a smell of that fried food,
like,
what happens?
God, that smells so good.
So
and then I would remember, you have food in your bag. And I would
what
go
food do you have
eat
in your bag? Apple?
No.
Orange?
I would actually carry.
Okay, sorry. That's thinking. That's thinking. That's
no,
not food?
actually, no,
right.
that's a snack.
That's a snack?
You know? Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So
what you will carry in your bag? What do you have in your bag? You come here with a big bag. So what do you have in your bag?
I have a wrap right now with eggs and vegetables inside of there.
So it's a wrap.
So I did scrambled eggs with
Okay.
a little bit of cheese, some veggies, just the pizza bread. So I stuffed that in there, and that's what I have in
How
there.
long that will last for?
Maybe an hour.
So you have to eat, is it that you have to eat regularly or?
Yeah.
Okay, so small portions all the time. Do you cut off when you eat? You know, people have come here and said you shouldn't eat later than 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9, well, not 9 o'clock obviously. Are you like that as well or no?
No, I eat whenever I need to.
So you
I
don't worry
eat
about
by
the
the
time?
clock. So this is the thing, you don't wait till you start to feel hungry. You don't wait till your belly starts to rumble for you to now go look for something to eat. By that time, your body has already started to cannibalize on itself, meaning that whatever muscle that you have, which is the most nutritious parts of your body is going to say, hey, Andre ain't feeding us, so let's eat the muscles.
Wow.
So in a couple of weeks after you measure, you know, a 20-inch bicep, you realize even though like you're training, but you're carrying on with the same habits that you're not 20 inches around your arms anymore. And it's because you're not feeding the body so that it wouldn't have to feed off of you. And that is really the purpose for eating. Well, apart from, you know, bodily functions and all those other things. But you want to keep feeding the body so it doesn't have to be eaten off of what you're trying to build. And people don't do that.
What about people who go the other extreme? Fasting. In other words, whether it be, I know there's this major talk about intermittent fasting, but I'm just saying fasting and like, almost a difference of religious fast. How do you tell people about that part?
Well, I would say fasting is or can be a good thing. It gives the digestive system a rest. It gives the body time to flush itself and that sort of thing. With the religious aspect, well, then that's the religious aspect.
Right, yes.
But other than that, for me, I would just say, like I said just now, eat when you need to. Again, so that the body doesn't eat off of itself, because then what happens, you're not putting in and the body is taking away from you. So you're losing everything. You're losing your protein, you're losing your fats, everything that your body is eating off of you, you're not giving back anything, right? You're going to start to feel depleted. You're going to probably get nauseous, you're going to have a lot of migraines, you're going to feel dehydrated, your skin going to be dry because you're also not drinking water or sufficient water. I know some people say they don't like water, but then add something.
How much water do you drink?
I'm supposed to be drinking about a gallon.
A gallon-ish.
Wow.
Yeah. In terms of when you're getting ready for events, and you have this event coming up, which we're going to talk about, obviously, in particular, we all know the annual classic takes place October the 13th to the 15th, right? That's next month. What does Abeni not do during that period? Is there like, okay, I have to fast, I cannot do this for the next 2 weeks, next for the next 2 weeks, because we are now, what, today is the 8th, today is the 8th, so we're just over a month away. Yeah. What does Abeni what is it that Abeni cannot do for the next month? to get so that you are fully ready for that event?
Okay, so I have cut back on my carbs. So before I was bulking, basically, from my last show, which was in June. Off that prep, I was 132 pounds. So I started this prep at 132 pounds, so I was bulking up. So I would have carbs, I would have my protein, everything. So now, as we're coming so close to the Arnold's and time to leave, because I'm leaving on the 10th of October, I've cut back on my carbs, especially coming down to evening time. Now, usually I wouldn't have any carbs after 5 o'clock, right? And that's just because...
Any carbs such as?
Any carbs, all forms of carbs, whether it is juice, whether it is a slice of cake, whether it is a sweet potato, whether it's rice, any form of carbs after 5 o'clock. Generally, I would do that because that helps with the digestive system. Just think of it, you start to wind down after work, work finishes at 4, you start to wind down, you ain't really looking to go hype up yourself, do anything, you want to relax. Same thing with your digestive system. It wants to rest because you're giving it, well, hopefully, if you were like me, you're eating whole day. So now it just wants to wind down, so I try to give it something lighter. Also, when you continue to eat a lot of carbs in the afternoon, what tends to happen is people start to feel sluggish. And remember, you have settled down, so you're not active, you know, walking about the office or anything like that. So now that stays on your system until tomorrow. And when you wake up, again, if you're eating, you would have had breakfast and so on. So now the body has to digest what you left it with from yesterday. Now breakfast, and so on. That's what sometimes starts to give people a gut. Almost like they can't get rid of it. It's because the amount of food that they have piling up in there, they're almost overeating per se. And not just overeating in a healthy way, but a lot of carbs. And our culture love carbs.
So like on a Friday, today's a Friday, the average person will go on a Friday to go on Lime in Trinidad and Tobago, Lime, relax, go out, drink as the case may be, or not drink as the case may be, but Lime basically, and enjoy themselves. Does Abeni Procope have that sort of day?
No, I don't.
But you just tell me you're human, eh?
Yeah, but at some point in time, you need to know when to cut back. Is either the Lime is more important or the look is more important to you, and right now I'm competing and I'm not going on stage to make up numbers.
So nothing going to distract you? Is there nothing like... Okay, so what is... Let me ask you the question this way.
What could distract me right now?
What distracts you the most?
I love carbs, really and truly. Okay. I love carbs. I didn't realize that I used to eat more carbs than protein till I actually started this category of body fitness, and I started to actually diet. Because before I was really relying on my genetics because it was that good. But as I put on more muscle, more weight and everything, I really had to cut out the carbs. And that's when I realized, like, oh my goodness, carbs, like people that say, is life. I really love carbs. So right now, the only carb that I have there is the wrap itself, which is whole wheat. Other than that, it will just be like chicken or eggs, or if I choose that I will try the fish, it will be that as my protein and veggies.
What's, from your point of view, as you get ready, obviously, for the upcoming event, what drives Abeni to stay in this field? Because you've been doing this for how long?
About 10 years now. 10
years.
Yeah.
And you said you started off in the swimsuit category and you evolved into body fitness. Do you see yourself going further than body fitness, maybe into bodybuilding? Has that ever happened? That thought? No? No bodybuilding at all? Why? Why you say that? Why you close your eyes like that and say that in the way you say it? Why?
As it stands,
yes.
It is, like I said, it's already a struggle. Okay, because I'm generally petite, right?
You are 5'6"?
Yes.
Right, okay.
My body type is an ectomorph, so we are a lean and athletic people. Right. Right? In order for me to even...
How do you know somebody body type? The guy called Ryan who just came in here, what is body type?
He's probably a meso or endomorph.
A what?
A mesomorph or endomorph.
Which means what?
He puts on fat easily.
Oh, and the young guy called Mael.
He's an ectomorph.
Like you?
Yeah.
All right, that's why he can eat so much?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So you have a high metabolism. Some of us also have overactive thyroid. Some people who are big have underactive thyroid, meaning it's not working fast enough for them to burn off, right? So it's so slow. So if they even look at something, they're probably going to put on weight, but I'm just exaggerating. Yeah. So I have to... It's very hard for me to stay in this shape.
Okay.
It takes so much money for food, the amount of food I have to be eating, that honestly I no longer check how much money I spend.
And when you say food, you mean the specific things like egg and egg and chicken breast. It's not
A
cheap.
case of chicken breast is
A case you buy?
a case, yeah. If I buy that loose, I would spend so much more.
So you go and get it wholesale basically.
$7.50 for a 40-pound case of chicken breast where I buy it, and that's the cheapest.
How long that lasts you?
About 2 months, 2.5, and that's if it is I'm eating other things in between, so that the chicken stretching.
And you're grilling it right? You just grilling it?
I would bake it. I would do it on the stove, maybe some barbecue sauce, season it up nice, or grill it also, but not fry really or stew.
Okay. And you don't miss the stew. You don't miss a pilau. You don't miss a pilau.
No, I'm a very boring eater. I'll eat the same thing all the time.
You say a very boring person, but you shifted a little bit there. All right. So no, I was going to ask you this. What about doubles and roti and all, and these things which are considered part of Trinidad and Tobago's diet?
Yes, I do have those things.
Oh, you have doubles?
I don't eat from everywhere. I eat from where I know that tastes good. Like honestly, this morning, when I went to run some errands, and when I was coming back, I saw the doubles man. I was like, yes, because I was hungry like at that point in time. But he was already packing up. I'm like, that's a sign.
No. How much? All right, okay, I'm glad to know you eat doubles. How much doubles do you eat
I would only eat 2, because to begin with, I know I'm not supposed to be having it. I'm just having it because I'm really hungry and I'm rushing to wherever. And this is not even twice a month kind of thing.
Okay.
This is like something probably just spur of the moment kind of thing.
So what do people see when they see you? They must be wondering how you're so disciplined, your friends. Or they
a lot of them, like a girl bounced me up when I started back training in this particular gym. She was like, oh my gosh, girl, you're real representing for us women and so forth, and I'm real glad you're stuck with it and thing. I'm actually the only female that started bikini fitness in 2013 in Trinidad that is still competing right now.
Okay. Well, most of them left?
Yeah, they just drop out. You see, a lot of people get into it for maybe carnival coming around the corner, maybe it's the birthday or whatever.
You're a carnival person too?
No.
Okay, let's make it sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they use it as an opportunity to get in shape, and after that, well, that was the goal, accomplished, and that's that. I do it because it's something that is going to keep me in shape. I understand the benefits of having muscle. Now people will be like, oh, you're so muscular and you're looking like a man and this and that, and plenty men are even looking like me, so are they looking like women? Just saying. But nonetheless, when I get older, depending on however old I live to see, as I go along, I'm not going to be able to upkeep this amount of muscles. Naturally, your body is going to be depleted.
Well, hold that thought. We have the news. I want to come back and talk to you about what you just said. People identifying you and saying sometimes, hey, you're looking more like a man than a woman, and that has thrown off many women in the past. We take a short break for the 3 o'clock news. When we come back, Abeni will still be with us. She will still be with us when we come back. IFBB, we'll be back.
Here is the WESN News All the Hour. I am Sira Ali. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Criminal groups are now operating work-to-own vehicles. A 60-year-old man was lured out of his prayer room and shot. And internationally, a Turkish cryptocurrency boss and his 2 siblings have been jailed for 11,196 years. Now for the details. Criminal groups in the nation have allegedly initiated a new strategy involving work-to-own vehicles, according to Superintendent Terence Naubert, who leads the North Central Division of the police. This disclosure emerged during a media briefing held on Thursday at the police headquarters in Port of Spain. Naubert explained that these gangs have ventured into the transportation industry by managing fleets of public hire cars. He stated they employ individuals, particularly young ones, whom they provide with vehicles to work, and these individuals are responsible for covering for the gang's activities. On Wednesday night in Petit Cafe, Indian Walk, a 60-year-old man was tragically lured out of his prayer room and shot at point-blank range. Lindsay Mattis, a farmer, underwent emergency surgery at the San Fernando General Hospital to treat his gunshot wounds to his right chest and left back. He is currently hospitalized. According to a Newsday report, Marty's daughter, 33-year-old Akila, who resides at the same address, the incident unfolded at around 8:45 p.m. She was at home when she heard an unknown person calling out to her father using the nicknames Ras and Daddy. Her father responded to the call, stepping out to meet the individual. She described the person wearing a dark-colored hat and a black hoodie. Internationally, a Turkish cryptocurrency boss and his two siblings have been jailed for 11,196 years each for defrauding investors of millions of dollars. 29-year-old Farouk Ozer fled to Albania in 2021 with investor assets after his Teodex exchange suddenly collapsed. He was extradited back to Turkey in June and found guilty of money laundering, fraud, and organized crime. State media reported that Ozer told the court he would not have acted so amateurishly if his intent was criminal. He said he was smart enough to lead any institution on earth. Well, that's news to the hour on WESN. I'm Sira Ali. Thanks for watching.
We exposed 5 strangers to KFC's delicious chicken to see if any time could be KFC time. And at the first bite, the party began. We repeated the experiment during the day, during business hours, on weekends, with sunshine, with rain. And it's confirmed. KFC's flavor makes any time KFC time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
Welcome back, welcome back. This is WESN Content Capital, Face of Sports. This Friday, Fun Friday, comes up a little bit later on. And we're still having fun here because we're talking with a young lady on her way to the United States of America shortly to take part in the Annual Classic. Let's have a look. The Annual Classic, they have already decided, they wrote her. You're going to see it on the screen in a short while. There it is. Tell us about that. Abeni?
Yes, so even last year I qualified for the Annual Classic, but I was unable to go because I didn't have funding. Gyms had also now reopened, so I wasn't, physically ready, well, aesthetic-wise to go. This one here is my qualification from competing at the Roger Boyce Pro Elite Classic back in June. I qualified, and this is the letter, the official letter from Arnold himself for the upcoming Classic, which is actually the largest multi-sport competition in bodybuilding to be held this October, the 13th to the 15th.
Where is it being held?
Europe, Madrid.
All right, and if you want to support her, we're going to put up on the screen where you can go and support her while I continue talking with her. You can have a look at it. There it is. You can explain it to the people.
So this is my GoFundMe page. Persons can copy and paste the link to the GoFundMe page. That is the picture there for my GoFundMe. To share your support in any way possible. Also, you can use my PayPal account if that one is preferred. Well, by you, but it is preferred by me. It's easily accessible for me as well.
And while we leave that on the screen, let me ask you this. How do you deal with people looking at you, and you mentioned it just before you went for the break, Abeni, people looking at you and saying, you don't look like a woman, you don't attract me because I'm a man, I want a woman that looks like a woman, that behaves like a woman. How do you deal with that?
Some people are just insecure about themselves. They're not accustomed of a woman looking muscular. I think society has so many labels to begin with. Remember back in the day how, you know, women can't be mechanics. You're supposed to be inside, only the man outside. And that, I mean, that has gone out the door so many years now that when you have this aspect of that transition taking place, people can't really adapt to some of those things. They feel insecure about themselves, knowing very well that their body ain't looking hot at all. And they wish they looked like you, and they feel it's just like a bully. That's the only way to make yourself feel better, by trying to bring down somebody else.
Have you had to deal with that?
Numerous times. Up to this afternoon, I walking across the promenade, and I know people stare all the time because to begin with, in an armhole, my shoulders, you don't see women in Trinidad looking like me at all. Because people even ask me if I live here, if I'm a foreigner, all sorts of things. Even when I started to compete years ago, they were like, in Trinidad or outside? Like, we have that here? And anyway, the lady on the promenade was like, hey girl, I want to look like you. You's a man or you's a woman? And
wow.
I just like totally, I just totally ignored her because I'm there now looking at the map, making sure I know where I'm going.
Right.
Like, whatever. Because I already glimpsed her and I'm like, look at you. Look where you are on the street, Lyman. Like, that's what you do for the day. I am about something. I have ambition.
But have you never been tempted to reply? Have you never been?
Of course, listen, I wanted to turn around and tell her something. But I have to remember, I have a name. Yes. I've had a name for a very long time before bodybuilding. So I try to remember that because I know it's very easy that people wouldn't know you now when it's time to help you. But the minute you do something that doesn't seem pleasant, all of a sudden, the whole country would know my name, and right. They would know Abeni Procope, IFBB, this, that, and the other on the front page. So I don't want that kind of reputation for myself. So I'm like, you know what? All right, she isn't even with it.
So that's a woman. What about men? Do men run you down?
Men love it.
Men love it?
Men love it.
All right, so give us an example. I've been told to ask you for an example.
Because a guy actually told her, he was... the same lady,
yes,
he was telling her, "Way boy, she kind of like a strong, kind of fit, kind of woman, man, kind of thing." And she was the one who up to say something like, I don't know, she felt like she had to say something. Nonetheless, but men, they gape. Even in the gym, men is like, come up and give me bounce and things like, family, you're looking real good. That back tick. They always have something to say, and if they don't say something, they are staring uncontrollably.
So how you deal with that other aspect of it? In other words, being so many men attracted to you, how you deal with that other side of it?
I am honestly unbothered because it is expected. When, just like if something is trending, people never see it before, everybody starts to gravitate to it. Everybody wants to use the audio, they want to buy the pants, whatever it is. When I'm in the gym, if I'm working upper body, I tend to have on something more revealing because I also want to see what I am working on, how the muscles moving, and all that fascinates me.
So you're going in the gym and you're tantalizing the men?
If that's what happens, it happens. It wasn't my intention. I am
but
dressing for me.
You just admit that you're wearing something.
For me, I want to see my back when I turn around. I want to see.
But you must know you're tantalizing the men.
Like I said, it's unintentional and.
But when it happens, really, what happens to you? When it happens, how do you, because there may be men there and there will be women there and they might be watching too as well. So you have a lot
I could see women looking at me sometimes like she had a panda with all her stomach outside. Because, you know, I have abs and so forth. But at the end of the day, to me, I'm like, listen, I'm telling myself, I have a goal. I'm an athlete. I have requirements for the stage, how I need to look. Right? And if it is, and women tend to always be fighting women down, I can never understand why. If it says, if I see you have a flat stomach and I have a belly and I realize like I always seen you around training and drinking something afterwards, I would come and approach you. Excuse if you don't mind asking, how you get your stomach, like how long you're training. Is either you tell me or selfishly you don't. And that's it. Rather than
do you get that? Do some women come and ask?
Very few. Very few. But they will just stop and they will stay.
Going forward, what would you say is your strength? You know, some people say the upper body, the legs, the arms. What is your strength?
My strength is wherever I put my mind to.
Okay.
But generally, I would say my upper, and that's because I have less fat on the upper. I tend to lean out faster on my upper, I should say. Yeah, as compared to the legs, your legs tend to hold more meat. As compared to my upper, some people have it the reverse, but for me, that's how it is. So my upper comes in fast. So then, again, for your weakness, not to be working only on your strengths because it's already looking good because you like to work there, but now it's to work on the weaker aspects. So right now, I'm focusing more on leaning out my legs to reach the required aesthetics for my competition.
All right, so if people watching this program right now, male or female, want to get in contact with you, want to find out more about you, where you train, because I know you also do that as well, so tell us about that part.
So presently, where I train is not really the issue.
Yes.
I do house calls as well.
Okay, good.
I do online training.
And this is all towards health? When you say online, house call, what do you mean?
Yes, so if it is probably for some reason you cannot come out to a gym, maybe you're so busy or something, or you prefer, you know, the privacy of your home, I can't come to you. That is, conditions will apply there.
Course,
I don't just, you know.
Yes.
Also, if you have some equipment as well.
Yes.
Other than that, so I will do virtual. The virtual applies either you're at the gym, so it have equipment there, and I am following you through with a program, or you come to wherever I'm at. But again, after we converse, we will decide mutually where is best.
So how can they contact you? How can they get know more about you, contact you?
You can get on to me at 707-3654. That's
You're
my...
brave enough to give out your number here, and it's almost anybody call you and say, hey, Abeni,
I can deal with it. I can deal with it.
Let's go, whatever. How do you do
this
that?
number is
okay.
viral, yeah,
okay.
on
all right.
everything. So, yeah, that's 707-3654, or my website, Abeni, ABENI, pro.com. All my information is there.
And what advice, Abeni, would you give to young ladies in particular who may be a little bit insecure? I'm just saying that they may be insecure because of the stigma, if that's the correct word to use. I don't know if it is the correct word, but because of the impression that some people say, you know, there's like how some people say when women get involved in swimming, they get big shoulders. So a lot of women don't swim for that reason, obviously, right? That they start off in the gym, and then when they start to put on side, people say, hey, you're bulking up too much. They pull back, they withdraw into their shell. Because you just mentioned to us that a number of ladies who started with you, you're the only one left from 2013. So it suggests many things, but one of which a lot of them have dropped out, obviously. How do you deal with that?
You can never please everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't think we were put here to satisfy people, right? You do what is on your mind or what has been put there as an idea, whether from God, the Almighty, whoever you deem him to be, and you go for it. Because at the end of the day, all you're going to be left with is regrets as to why you didn't do this. Because that person might have just disappeared, migrated, so now that person is no longer a bother to you. They go on about their business, they don't even remember your existence, and here it is you're left with regret as to why it is you didn't do this particular thing. And you tell yourself, so wait, the reason why I didn't go through this is only because of that little thing?
Or that person.
People will always have something to say whether you did it. If it is they provoke you into not doing it and you don't do it, they'll say, you see, she's a coward, I know you couldn't do it, that's why you didn't do it. So now you're studying, so what, I should do it or not do it? But then now you're actually settling yourself basically to only go through with your goals based on someone else's permission.
Even if that person is your boyfriend or
it doesn't matter who it is.
So that has happened to you, your boyfriend, or whoever would have influenced, or your friend, as the case may be, or whatever it is, would have stopped you from doing something, or you have made up your mind?
No. This is what I like. This is what I do. I am good at it. I have done extremely well over my career.
So nobody can influence you?
No. Even when I flip that switch of cutting off certain things from eating, no matter how good it is, no matter how awesome it smells, I know that is going to mess up my physique. I do a ripple effect. What I want to achieve on that stage. If eating this is going to hamper that, then it's not worth it. If it's a piece of chocolate, that chocolate is always going to be there. This opportunity isn't.
Yeah. In terms of support, who has been the people who would have supported Abeni, whether it be parents, friend, husband, boyfriend, whoever it is, who have been people that have supported you during this period? Uncle, aunts, grandparents, whoever it is.
My mom, Janice, has always been in my corner. She has become like my travel buddy. She looks forward. So when the calendar of events come out, I say...
Was she into bodybuilding at all or nothing?
No, she did not like this for me. Neither did my dad.
Okay.
But when he saw, I was like, come guys, come to a show. They came and they saw how well I was doing. And my dad was like, okay, as a young lady, I realize you have your head on your shoulder. And this is what you like. You're doing good at it. So go ahead, you know. He's passed now.
Okay.
So it's my mom, my sister. She sometimes prep my meals for me. If not, well, she would just do my chicken because she's a chef. No, she isn't, unfortunately. And not just the bodybuilding, but you don't have to be into bodybuilding because I'm into bodybuilding, but at least be into some level of fitness.
Right.
Whether you're a long distance runner, cyclist, it doesn't matter. My friend Maritza, oh my gosh, I have to say so much thanks to her because we actually just crossed each other's paths only in about March this year, and she has been my rider. Like, you know, people come into your life looking to get back something, or they're doing something for you just to get some kind of recognition. You could see the genuinity in her when she does the stuff for me. She knows, okay, I needed creatine, and she's like, okay, Abzi, you know, I would try to boom thing when we go into the sauna. She handling it because she realized my struggle where funds is concerned to this. My friend and my photographer, Kirk Padmore, thank you so much. My friend Brian. And you know, the people who have been really helping me is the small man. Have always been the small man. Big up to my sponsor, World Female Athletics in the States. See, he was just there live as well. Also to, who else I have right now? I have Nadira, Dr. Nadira, who takes care of my skin. To Kathy, who's my massage therapist. Because I really need that.
How much time do you get a massage?
Well, I try to go at least twice for the month. Okay. And that feels really good, as in...
Normal massage, the Swedish massage, the
no, this is a deep tissue massage.
Massage.
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes,
sometimes...
Wow.
Yeah, this is very painful.
I'm back to me just thinking about it here. Oh, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say thank you so much to them for supporting me. Every little does add up right now. All those who have contributed to my GoFundMe thus far, thank you to you all. Some of you all I don't even know. I know you all don't even know me, but you have contributed nonetheless. And I really appreciate you guys, because if it's not for you, I really don't know how I'm going to get to Spain.
All right, so let's put back up the GoFundMe information again as we conclude here, talking with Abeni. Abeni, looking ahead, so when you go to Spain, is it going to be your first time? Is it your first time in the annual classic? No,
the first time at the annual classic, but not my first time in Spain. I qualified for World Championships in 2019, which was also held in Tarragona, Spain. So I did that. I placed 10th in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, I placed 10th.
Did Trinidad and Tobago recognize that?
No, they did not.
Sure. Why? Any reason or just?
To begin with, like I was saying before, I do not think bodybuilding is recognized as a sport here in Trinidad. Yeah. And it also is not marketed at all. Coming Saturday here is senior nationals. Tomorrow, yes, actually tomorrow is going to be senior nationals, which will be held at Cascadia. So these are seasoned novices, you could say. So some of them who have already competed in the past, they already went through junior nationals, which took place June this year. They're going on to seniors, or those who've already done it all, and they just stick in there. And there are a lot of them with a lot of potential, but again, I know a lot of them, because again of the lack of finances and support, haven't gone outside. Even as close as Barbados is to us, a lot of them cannot afford it.
Are there other Caribbean ladies in the same sphere as you?
Yeah, definitely. We have Antigua, who does really well. They have a big team that goes out to a lot of competitions when the year comes, and the minute they come back, like I just saw two of my friends, Liana, and I think is Michelle and Melissa Seaforth, three of them actually, they just came back, I think it's from Tiger Classic, and as they came back, if not the government or their federation per se, always recognizes them. If it's some little plaque, something. Not Trinidad, unfortunately.
Have you tried the federation itself? Are you trying to make a bodybuilding federation? You fall under the bodybuilding federation?
The bodybuilding federation here has no hand on pro athletes. When you become a pro, you are basically on your own. Though I have been on my own, even as an amateur, because even as an amateur, I have been funding my trips myself, or again, if it is you have a client or whoever wants to fund you, yeah.
So why you keep doing it?
I keep doing it because I love it. I enjoy what I do.
How long would that love last?
Not long at all, actually. I'm actually thinking of, first time I'm going to say this, but going back down to bikini category.
Okay, so which would mean you have to lose weight, basically?
Yeah.
Why?
But it will be more attainable. It will probably also be less maintenance as compared to
cost-wise.
this. Yeah.
Is that good for you, or this is that because you have no choice?
I wouldn't really say no choice. I can choose just to limit what shows I do. So the Roger Boys Classic, which is in Barbados, I've decided that probably I will just do that show when the year comes, or other shows that might be close by. And even if it is, I do qualify for annual classic or world championships, that I don't go because of the cost of it.
The one last question before I go, I was asked it before. People have asked, ladies or women that get involved in bodybuilding, a lot of them, can they still continue and go on and become mothers, or were they mothers and they got into the sport? Do you know?
Definitely, especially those who have become mothers and find, they have the loose skin and so forth, they want to tighten and tone up. This is a good avenue. So what I have done in the past is some of my clients, I put them on a program or down the road, down the path, as if they are going to compete.
Is that something you're looking forward to in the future, of family?
Yes, I am.
And would that mean that you have to leave the sport then?
Well, obviously for that time period.
Also, but you will come back?
Depending on when it takes place. If I feel like I am like late 40s, 50s, I probably wouldn't. I would go down different avenues of the sport, like being a judge, which is something on my mind.
Have you set yourself a timeline for that?
No, not really. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not running down, motherhood.
Final message. Put the GoFund back up on the screen. Let's explain to people what's going to happen come the 12th to the 12th, right?
The 13th to the 15th.
So you leave on the 10th?
Yes, I'll be leaving on the 10th of October.
Yes. So that's the annual classic. Now let's have a look at the GoFund. We're going to look at the GoFundMe. Right, go ahead.
Right, so once again, the link there at the bottom of the writing of the GoFundMe, you can copy and paste that. That is the picture to look for on my GoFundMe account. Whatever you guys can contribute will be greatly appreciated. Or for those of you who have PayPal, can find me at Miss Trades, or my email address at the bottom there, abeniprocope@gmail.com, and I will easily be able to access this as compared to the GoFundMe.
And again, as you see there, Abeni Procope, first and sole IFBB elite pro bodybuilder from Trinidad and Tobago of the body fitness category. Abeni, we wish you the best of luck. We hope to see some information on you. And let's hope people indeed listening, watching, and indeed,
I hope so too.
Certainly, don't be like the lady and where she was? Today on the Brian Lara Stadium, at the Brian Lara Promenade, that's what I'm saying. Don't be there. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you
and
so
as you go, what do you tell Ryan? When we saw Ryan a few moments ago, he wants to lose weight. What kind of diet should we put him on?
To begin with, we would start off small. You don't want to just deplete him from everything. Like the average doctor just tells you, know this, that. You want to substitute. So we could start off slowly. In place of the flour, we could put in oats, or they have
because it have him, and it have Rodney. Josh, not so bad. Keaton getting a little bit like that. But yeah. So what do you recommend?
So...
Yeah, no, I'm trying to help them. Go forward. But I think in terms of worse off, Ryan close to being the worst off. Close. Rodney have a little challenge too. But go ahead. Yes.
I will have a chat with Ryan after. I'm feeling bad like how you're putting up Ryan like
No, because I told him I was going to do it. I told him. You don't know the questions he asked me, so don't say that. Nevertheless, let's take a short break. It's Fun Friday. When we come back, we have a special guest, one of our correspondents, a sports young guy, well trained in sports. He'll be with us, and he'll be with us from now on. Take a short break. We'll be back.